Hello, hello, my beautiful tribe. This is your coach, Vanda here. Today, more excited than ever. Now, I'm always here bringing you some strategies, some insights, some gold, and some great conversation. And today, I have a special treat for you. I have a great person that I want you to meet. And some of you might know him already. So I have with me here today, Jeff Pfitzer. Hello, Jeff.
Thank you for having me, Vanda. I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here. So everyone, allow me to introduce Jeff. And of course, I'll give him the mic because he's awesome and I want him to share a lot of great stuff with you. But let me tell you a little bit about Jeff. So Jeff is the Regional Business Development Manager for USA Mortgage. He's been on the cutting edge of many business. He helps a lot of real estate agents to grow the business with videos and social media. And he has done a lot of things. So he's going to tell you more about it. But he also has a great role with the Lab Coat Agents group that many of you guys know, one of the biggest real estate group on Facebook. He has a great podcast that you should follow. Great podcast, and I love it. I follow him. I love it. So he also is the co-founder of the Drunk on Social Media group, where he delivers great content. He's going to share some great stuff with you guys. He's a speaker, he's a trainer, he's a teacher. Oh my gosh, he's awesome. He's knowledgeable, great energy. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's talk to Jeff. How are you, Jeff?
I'm great. Minus the weather. The weather sucks here in the Midwest, but other than that, I am fantastic.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm in San Diego and it's sunny right now.
That's why I said it, because I knew you were going to say it's perfect there like it always is.
Very nice. So, Jeff, you are amazing. You've been doing a lot. You very involved with our industry. You know what's going on. So tell us right now what you're excited about. I have great questions for you. I have many questions for you, but I want to hear, what are you doing right now? What are you excited about?
Gosh, that's a great question. I think I'm most excited about what we're doing with Drunk on Social. And Drunk on Social is a Facebook group. It's dedicated to Tristan Almada, the founder of Lab Coat, and I founded this group. And all we do is basically put out the latest industry news, the latest industry strategies, the things that are happening solely on social media. And obviously our audience, it's about a 10,000 member group, and it's a lot of real estate professionals, but what we're putting out is really mass. It's for everybody. And I think I'm definitely having the most fun doing that, because our job there is just to scour the wavelengths in the news and know what's going on. It's to test what's going on. And we do challenges all the time. We just got done with we did 100 TikToks in September. That was a lot of fun. And then we just did a Twitter challenge in October. And so it's really allowing me to keep my knife super sharp and keeps me out ahead, because really my entire social media, which is really 5 platforms, is constant testing and creating and just playing around. And I thoroughly enjoy it, because I've spent 21 years in mortgage, and that's not a fun industry, but it really pays me well. And it's allowed me to create a lifestyle that, you guys know in real estate that you just wouldn't be able to do it anywhere else. So
true. Oh, awesome stuff. I can see the passion. I can hear the passion in your voice. Isn't it great to do what you love?
100%. It's life-changing is what it is.
Isn't it great? And you bring so much value to the world and to our industry. I love that. So tell me a little bit about your journey. I mean, you did mortgage, and how did you get into this beautiful business of helping people with video, social media, with content and all?
It's a great question. And so the story is so back in about 2015, 16, we had been with the company that we're currently at since 2008. I'd been in the business since 2000. And we were struggling to grow. We had plateaued. We were very successful by industry standards. We did very well. But I'm an entrepreneur, and I want more, and I wanted to do more. And I didn't want to always be bound and always have that thought in the back of my head is, well, if one person leaves me, it really impacts my business. Or if something happens in the industry, it really impacts my business. And we struggled to grow. And so at the time, there was a lot of reasons why we weren't in love with the direction of the company that we are that we're back to. And so, we got found by another company and they caught me at the right time and they wooed me and they big promises of growth. And so we left my entire group, which was about 30 people. And it was the best move and the worst move that we've ever made. The best move because it forced me out of my comfort zone and it forced me to go in a direction that has led me to where I am today. The worst move was that it just was a bad 2-year run, but it taught us a lot. And so it ended up sending us back to USA Mortgage. But when I left, the first thought I had was, I'm leaving the company in my market who has market share. They're the number one guy, the number one company in town. And so now I got to figure out, how do I differentiate myself? How do I stand out? How do I position myself to outperform my competition, which is now my former company? And so at the time, Facebook Live was becoming a thing. And it wasn't anything like it is today. I think people were still trying to figure out how to use it, but there was a guy in my market that was doing these things called coffee talk. And so he was pretty innovative for his time. This is 2016. And I was enamored by it. I was like, this is interesting. It might have even been 2015. And so I followed him and I started kind of emulating and said, I'm going to do something like this. And starting to do that kind of made me an innovator because I was doing Facebook Lives before anybody was. But then I guess my brain is just a little bit more creative than the average human, in that the way I thought was, it didn't take me long to figure out that industry content is boring. And even though I was on the cutting edge of just doing it, which means I was getting thousands of views on these stupid, boring talking head videos, I didn't think it was the way of the future. And so it didn't take me long to, and I still have this light bulb moment where I did a video with my daughter, who at the time was 13. She was making slime. She was selling it on Etsy. She's my little entrepreneurial kid. And I was like, you know what, Isabel, why don't we go live and we'll make slime for the audience, and then we'll give them your Etsy thing and we'll try to, we'll sell some for you. Right. And we did this. And I still remember that video got thousands of views, hundreds and hundreds of comments. And so many people that was just, it was comments about relatability and like, oh my gosh, this is so great that you do this with your kids. Oh my gosh, I have kids, they do the same thing. And I was like, like all these videos I do, they don't get a fraction of the engagement. This just crushed. And it made me realize, like, I just need to put out more authentic personal content and I'm going to win. And I'm going to get more people attracted to me as a human, which is going to then bring them into my web, which then, when I'm sprinkling out that business content, they're going to remember me. And the other kind of transitional moment for me was, so my target is realtors, right? As a mortgage originator. And so the trick is, for anybody in the mortgage business and realtors, you can understand this and appreciate this. You probably, when your phone rings and it's a loan originator, you're like, ignore. I know what they have to say. Take me out for a cup of coffee. Yes, I know you're available for pre-approvals on the weekends, blah, 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 right? There's no differentiation. And so my phone started to ring back then with realtors calling me saying, hey, Jeff, you're the video expert. Can you help me with? And I was like, I'm the video expert. And then I was like, I guess I am, because I'm doing it. And it just made me realize I just flipped the script. My customer now is chasing me. I now have something that I can give them that they need and they want, and their own broker is not giving it to them. I just created the value piece that I'm going to run with. And it evolved into, becoming a social media expert and all that jazz. But those are kind of the moments that really transformed and changed the trajectory of my career and have led me to where we are today.
Oh, I love that. You know what? Let's go deep here. Let's unpack this, because you see, everyone who's watching this, we are agents, right? Some of you guys are coaches. I also coach coaches, and I'm a coach, and we all struggle with this, Jeff. And you hit a point that I struggle with, because you see, I'm the teacher. I have that in my genes, I can't help being the teacher. And many times I realize, oh my gosh, I'm teaching all the time, right? And we know that we gotta be educational, inspirational, entertaining, right? And I'm learning to do videos, and I got a voice coach now, and I learn with great people like you. Now I have a tendency to just do that and fall into the trap of being educational. So we don't want to get boring, right? So give me here, unpack this for me. How can we, some of the real estate agents and us entrepreneurs, coaches, teachers, to be more interesting, to be more intriguing, and have what you had, have the people come to us and
Yeah.
not being so repetitive, boring, repellent. So tell me about it here. Give us some things that we can use video, because you are an expert. Go ahead, please.
Sure. So it's a great question. And the beauty of social media, video, all the marketing, that sort of thing is it's not a one size fits all. So it's not like you have to go one way and that's the only way that works. And so when I speak about what I believe in and what I'm passionate about, it's because it works for me. So I'm living testament of this, right? And so, but I also know other people that just do industry content and have done very well.
Mm-hmm.
But my mindset is simply this: as the consumer, I'm always trying to put my head in, or my head in the head of the consumer and think, what do they want? And so first things first is this: when you're thinking about video and you're thinking about social media, for example, or just distribution in general, email, text, whatever, however you're distributing it, what do they want? And so you think about what the industry standard is. What are realtors sending out through their CRMs via email? They're sending out the latest listings. They're sending out market data. They're sending out, the top 10 things to get your house ready for winter, like the same crap that everybody's been sending out for the last 10 plus years. That stuff is just going to be ignored. And the only reason you're doing it at this point is to have your email show up in their inbox and hope they don't unsubscribe, because they're probably not consuming it. And the same applies to social media. Social media is social media, not business media. No one ever opened up Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube, because obviously YouTube, they're going there intentionally. They're Googling, business stuff. They don't open it to go look at your latest listing. I'm sorry, but they don't care. Right. If they want to buy a house, they've been trained to go to Zillow, Realtor.com, Google. This is what they do. And so you have to understand, why do people go to social media? Mindless content, kill time, to be entertained. Notice I didn't say anything about buying houses, getting a mortgage, or a Monday market update, learning about the latest trends in real estate, seeing what awards you won, seeing your latest closing. Now I get it. You have to sprinkle that stuff in, but in my opinion, it should be less than 20% of your content. The other 80+% should be your own reality TV channel. That's what I call it. And so I know why I have a large audience on a lot of the platforms. It's because either they're enamored with, my lifestyle, or they love watching my kids and my toddler, or they love watching the banter between me and my wife, or they like watching our travel, or maybe they like listening to me teach about social and video, because that's what I've positioned myself as an expert around. And so it doesn't matter what you're into. Like, you could be into growing tomatoes, go all in. Right. Create content around it. There's going to be hundreds of people that have that relatability and can relate to whatever it is you're passionate about, and will become a raving fan of yours. That's 50, 100, 200 people that you didn't have before. And now you're creating content around something that you're already doing in your life. So the way I think about it, Vanda, is simply this: I don't want to create more work for myself. So for me, creating business content, that's work. I have to seek content. I have to seek news. I have to spin it into a context, and so that I could display it and post it and create content around it. Or I can just share what I'm doing in my life. And so if I share what I'm doing in my life, I'm already doing it. The only thing I'm doing is taking this guy and turning it on and documenting it, because no matter what it is you do, for example, Vanda, I'm into fitness and diet, and we dabble with vegan and vegetarian, and I'm not either, but I've dabbled in them, and so I just post about it. And so invariably, even though I have no education in as a diet in diet or food, I have no education in training, I just know that I do more of it than the average human. Therefore, I'm positioned as more of an expert than most of the people watching my stuff. I inspire them, or right. they're entertained by it, and they watch, and therefore I'm remembered. I'm just a virtual billboard. That's all I am. It's just the new age of a billboard, of a grocery cart, of a bus bench, of a newspaper ad. I'm just the virtual sense of that. And guess what? It's free.
So true.
It's awesome.
So true. Thank you. Great stuff. I hope you guys are paying attention close to this and taking some notes, because this is the reality. And I love the way you said you sprinkled different things. You know, you want to be intriguing, you want to be different, you want to be authentic, you want, I love that. And the thing is, you don't want to just be the educator, right? So again, it's a work in progress. Would you agree? A work in
100%.
progress. Like, for example, you do the entertainment, you do the inspirational, you do your lifestyle, you are relatable, like you said, and you also educate. You have videos I follow, I see your videos on Instagram and Facebook, on the groups that I participate, where you teach them what to do, what not to do. And that's so important, because you see, Jeff, I preach and I coach and I tell them, listen, be intriguing. Yes, exactly what you said. Your Facebook page is not an MLS page. Stop posting out your listings. I tell them all the time, it's boring, right? I actually do way too much educational sometimes. I know that. I have to pull myself. I just can't help it because I love to write. But anyways, I'm working on that. You saw my pictures as Cleopatra.
I loved it. I loved
doing
it.
some things for fun. So now, I love what you say, and it's so true. You got to work on building your brand and show up intriguing, fun, entertaining, so people can relate. Yeah, once in a while, you do your video, how is the market? Once in a while, you tell people what's going on, so you build the authority, credibility. So now, let's go deeper here a little more, because you're right where I want you to be. Tell us here, my beautiful tribe, our tribe here, what are some great videos they should be doing? You talked about entertaining, but some tips, some hacks, what they should be doing, working on to really build this brand on social media.
So it depends on where you're at in your career. And I will say this, is that if you're newer to real estate, you probably need to put out more real estate content, because now you're training your audience to remind them what you do. But if you're like me and you've been in the business for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, like some of you are, you don't have to remind them, because they already know. And so, one of the examples that I say all the time is when you're shooting just any video of any kind. This is just very generic and powerful advice. You watch, go scroll, find the first 5 videos, talking head videos of another realtor or just a human in general. How do they start their video? Hey guys, or happy Friday, or hey, it's Jeff here. First of all, you've got like 3 seconds to grab their attention. That is, you're not talking to the masses. You're talking to one person on the other side of the camera. Yes, there's a lot of one persons watching your video, but it's usually one person. So stop acting like you're standing on a stage talking to an audience. You're not. If you go live, don't say, let me wait for people to join. No one's waiting for any of us. They're just not sitting there.
So true. Guilty.
Can't wait for Jeff to go live. It's not the way it works. And create intrigue with all of the beginning of your video. So every video should start with some sort of intrigue. Ask a question, say a powerful statement, tease what you're going to talk about in the video. It doesn't matter if it's personal or business. Always start that way. And frankly, when you think about it, if you're on social media, you don't need to introduce yourself. They can see that it's you, because it comes from your page. It says your name if it's your Instagram or your Facebook or your TikTok, right? So I think a lot of people they get nervous, and right before they do their video, because they haven't planned properly.
Exactly.
And if you just take like 10 or 15 minutes to jot down your thoughts, and I have 2 ideas on this that I use. You could just create a bullet point list, a reference point, so you don't lose train of thought, so you don't lose track. Prepare. Now, I have taken it one step further. I now script a vast majority of my videos. If I go live, I riff, and I've riffed a ton in my career. But as the dawn of the TikToks have come through, I've realized that short form content is the absolute future. And I want to be known as someone that when people are scrolling and they see Jeff Pfitzer, they think to themselves, it's a Jeff Pfitzer video. He's not going to waste my time babbling for 5 minutes. It's going to be short, to the point, and I'm going to gain value from it. And so I learned that if I start scripting if I take an extra 10 or 15 minutes, script my video, just a bunch of lines, a paragraph, and I either use a teleprompter or I shoot it one line at a time, like in a TikTok or Instagram Reels or something like that, it makes my content so much more efficient. It makes shooting the video so much more efficient. I usually shoot videos one take and I'm out the door. And so, because believe me, I do a lot of this and I don't want to spend every waking second of my life creating content. So I want to do it as efficiently and as eloquently as humanly possible, because I want to be better than all of you. That's my goal, right? I want to be the best. And so do you. And so if you're going to do this, you know, gain some skills by practicing, so you can get good at a hook, so you can become more eloquent, so you can learn how to say less, so you can learn how to script, so you can learn how to use a teleprompter. And you know what I recommend to everyone? Learn how to gain some basic editing skills or hire an editor, one of the two. If you can't afford to hire an editor, go learn how to edit. My 13-year-old daughter taught me. YouTube could teach you. You know, we have a video school that can teach you. There's tons of resources. Just use them.
So good. So good. Thank you. I love that. Right. And you're talking about everything that I believe is available. It's not expensive. And you got to know structure will set you free. And you talked about preparation. And one of the reasons they are nervous is because they don't know what to say. They don't know how to say it. They haven't practiced. They're not prepared. Right. You know, I always say when I coach and all the sales is, once you know it, you just can't wait to do it. So I love it. I love it. Preparation. I ask my clients, all of them, to put on a schedule 3 times for 10 minutes to practice video. Do it, delete, do it, delete, and just have fun with it, right?
Right. Well, yes. Yeah. And it's true, because a lot of times, most of you, you'll create a video, you'll watch it, you'll hate it, you'll create a video, you'll hate it, you'll regret another. And so one of the things you have to get over is that you're never going to like how you look. You're never going to like how you sound. You're never going to like how, you know, the structure of the video. That's just, it's human nature. It's the best analogy that I use is when you were 15 years old and you had a zit on your face and you went to high school, you went to school that day, you were pretty mortified. And it was something that was like a beacon of light in the mirror to you.
Yeah, right.
But to no one else. And it took me being an adult to figure this out. Like, I was the same way. Like, it bothered it consumed me sitting in class all day, everybody staring at my zit. And
Isn't it true?
They're not, right? And just how you think you sound terrible and think you look terrible, you don't to everyone else. They're not that concerned. They're really just interested in what you have to say, if they're interested at all. And so you got to get over yourself, because people ask me this all the time, is how do I do that? And the reality is simply this: you've got to get uncomfortable. You just have to embrace it. And because it's not going away. Social is not going away, and video is not going away. In fact, they're going to continue to take over our lives. It's just like my grandfather said, I'm not using that stupid computer. Right. And we all remember that if you're on our generation. And now our generation, Vanda, is saying, I'm not going to use that stupid social media. Well, guess what? Everybody under the age of 30 is going to live the rest of their lives on social media. And I can only imagine what it's going to evolve into. So you can either fight it or you can embrace it. You have a choice.
Yeah.
And I choose to embrace it.
Good for you. Congratulations. And I agree completely. And I'm in the same boat. You know, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you come from. If you don't embrace the new communication, the new way of living, you're going to be dead. Right. So you're talking here about unique value proposition. You're talking about showing up. By the way, we all know that once you have the strategy, everything works. You know, who's your audience? What is the message? What you wanted them to believe, to feel, to do, put the post together. And talking about getting ready, one of the things that you just mentioned that I love it, and I help my people a lot, is get yourself in state. You know, stop the self-talk, stop the BS that comes, because I have that. Everybody has. Don't you have a little self-talk that the BS comes in? You got to say, shut up. Let me do this. I know my stuff. And you go 1, 2, 3, go, right? What do you do? So what is Jeff little trick right before he goes showtime, baby? What do you do, darling?
Well, I won't answer that now because now I do it all the time. So it's easy, but I'll talk about like 5 years ago, because the reality is this, and I went through the tougher times because I was the unicorn, the innovator, the cavalier, and I took a lot of criticism, and it was my competition and it was my partners, like my own people closest to me gave me the most crap.
Isn't it true? It happens.
100%. And it will. A lot of times it's your own sibling or your own spouse or your own, colleague who's giving you the most trouble. And the reality is that it's because you're not doing it the way that everybody else is doing it.
And they say, what are you thinking? That's weird. That's funny. What do you think? What's about that? Right. And they try to take you down a different level.
Yeah. And I mean, I've since learned, because our business has grown bigger than I ever could have imagined. And I've since learned that the innovation is what's created the opportunity. And it's like, I use TikTok as an example. I use video as an example, that those are like the two things right now that we all know, like whether it's TikTok or not, the platform of TikTok is the future of social media. It's being copied already by Instagram. YouTube's embracing shorts. And so you can sit there and say, no, it's owned by China, or no, it's for kids, or no, no. And here's what's going to happen. 2-3 years from now, it's going to be far more mainstream than it already is. And it already is mainstream, but it's going to be like super mainstream, like Facebook. And you're going to then jump in and the opportunity's gone. You're going to be fighting through just a mass of millions of people. And so for those of you that are the innovative mindsets, for those of you that really want to find like higher levels of success, you've got to get uncomfortable and think outside the box and think ahead and be willing to take chances. Vanda, I was actually standing on real estate stages in 2019 telling agents, you should probably be paying attention to TikTok. And this, my daughter taught at the time. So this is a few years. This is not, she wasn't 13. She was older then, but it started in the spring of 19. So if you remember TikTok's progression, it really didn't come out until the beginning of 19. The spring of 19, that same daughter was saying, Dad, do this dance with me. I want to go viral. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is stupid. What are you doing? And this progressed, and I did a few of them. And then I started to become kind of entertained by it. And I started to post them. They got a lot of engagement. And then before you know it, my mind started to shift. And I was like, I think I could do something with this in real estate. And like, this would be a really cool, because at the time it was 15 seconds only. And I was like, this would be really cool teaser videos for listings and open houses. And this would be really fun because you can use licensed music and you can get really creative with it. And so I just embraced it. And so I went to a conference in November of 19, and it was the first time I did it. And most of the audience had never even heard of TikTok. Wow, and most people said, you're an idiot, because they started to do their homework. And then I took a chance. And I remember having this self-talk with myself. Listen, what's going to happen here? Either I'm going to be right about TikTok and I'm going to be freaking brilliant and everybody's going to remember me for TikTok, or I'm going to be wrong and they're going to forget within a couple of months. And they might tease me about it every once in a while, but what's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing. Right. And so I took a chance, and it's given me so much credibility and really just almost celebrity status in the real estate world, which from a mortgage perspective is a dream for any mortgage professional. Who doesn't want to be known as an innovator in the real estate world, because it's created so much opportunity for me. And so it's I don't know if that answers your question. I don't know if that helps, but
it does, because actually you gave me so much content and beautiful gold strategies, because my question that I had here is, what is the trends? What, some of the trends coming up in our industry, what the real estate agent should be paying attention. And I have to be blunt and honest here. I never even thought about TikTok at that level, with that much intensity and passion that you just brought it here to me. I'm doing real, and my coach, because I have several coaches too, voice coach, business coach, my coach said, you got to do real, and I'm like, I'm already doing Facebook lives and Instagram and this. He goes, you got to do stories. So I'm doing it. You probably see some too. And now I'm like, okay, I got to do TikTok too. So I'm glad so that's some of the trends you believe right now we should be embracing.
Right. And I will say this, like for you, I'll use you as an example. So you're already doing Reels, which is great. Now, Reels is not quite as advanced as TikTok, but You can be I mean, you know, if you create, for example, you know this, like if I create a YouTube video, I can now chop up that 7-minute video into micro content. I can cross post it to other platforms. And like I said, I can chop it up into multiple pieces of content. The same thing applies. TikTok for me is a creation platform. And so I create, I use it. And one of the reasons I love it is beyond the technology piece and the effects and all the cool stuff that you can do. I love it for the licensed music. Because you cannot create a video, put a popular mainstream song on it, post it to Facebook, and you're getting muted. Same on Instagram, same on YouTube, same on probably LinkedIn. I don't know, I've never tried it. But if you do it through TikTok, and then you cross post your TikTok to other platforms, the music is allowed. And so, and I'm going to answer the objection that I know somebody's thinking is, but Jeff, if I post a TikTok with the TikTok watermark to Instagram, Instagram's going to suppress it. And I will tell you, I've seen no validation. I study this. I test it. I've had TikToks on Instagram flop. I've had TikToks on Instagram get tens of thousands of views. So it tells me that's not true. Number one. Number two, what is the primary goal of every social media platform? The answer is to keep the user on the platform. That's what they want. So you should never be posting links. So if you're posting a TikTok, when you hit post, it automatically, you can click a little button and automatically saves it to your phone. It's got the TikTok watermark on it. You can remove that, by the way, with certain technology, but I don't. And here's why. Because when so then I take that video that's on my phone, I post it to Instagram, knowing that the watermark's going to show up. But here's my opinion on this. Instagram's smart. These algorithms are smart. And with that goal in mind of keeping the user on the platform, I just did Instagram a favor, because now I'm sharing a TikTok to Instagram, which means the user doesn't have to go to TikTok to see it, because I'm posting it to their platform. Also, our society has become so, we've accepted TikTok as an entertaining, as a platform where it's short form video. It's something we want to consume. So I would make the argument that when people see the TikTok watermark on Facebook or Instagram, they're more inclined to click it than if it didn't have it, because they don't want to wait. They don't want their time to be wasted. And so they know if it's a TikTok, they're like, ooh, there's a chance this might be pretty funny. I'm going to watch it, or it might be entertaining, or it's going to be edutainment. Right. And so I hear this all the time, because there's a lot of social media experts, and you could probably throw me in that category. I probably just study it more than most. And the difference, I think, between me and most others is they read this stuff, they see these posts, I read it, and then I go test it.
Exactly.
And so it's like,
and see
I want to see if it works or not. And so, I've seen both. So I have no reason to believe that that's true. And so for you, Vanda, when you're thinking to yourself, oh gosh, I got another platform, I would say, actually, it's another platform that actually will probably make your content even better potentially. And now that same video, you can post back to Reels, or you can go take all of your Reels, go create a TikTok account and post those Reels to TikTok, maybe add music to it. Cause usually when you download a Reel, it removes the music.
That's what we're doing. By the way, that's my virtual assistant. Now I don't even go there. He's just posting everything there, and it's gonna get me the metrics. Like you said, and I love what you said. There is always a strategy to make it easier, faster, and better. You reframe everything and you just do the stuff. People, they complicate, they create the monsters in their head with the fear, with everything. Just do it. So what I heard Jeff say here, that social media is not going anywhere. We knew that. And videos are going to get even more valuable and in demand. Amplified. So if you're not doing videos, you are missing out. Right?
Yeah, it's true. And again, I'm not so naive to say that you will not be successful or you will die, as people say, in a sense of business, right? But you are handicapping your business. And if you're not going to use social and you're not going to use video, you're just handicapping yourself, because the people that do are going to create more opportunities. They're going to be seen more. They're going to have more opportunities to build a brand. And that's just the reality is simply this. The more of someone you see, the more likely you are to buy whatever it is they're selling. It's just the truth.
Yeah, the truth. It builds familiarity. It builds reputation, credibility. Now, you want to hear a funny story? I know I could talk to you forever, dude. I could be here forever. I know you got to go soon, but you want to hear a funny story? Video is so important. About actually 3.5 years ago, one of my clients in Silicon Valley, she said, Coach, I have a listing. It's $10 million. It's not selling. It's sitting in the market. 3 months is not selling. I said, darling, we need a price adjustment. She said, I know. I'm working on it. They disappear on me. They are in Asia. The clients are in Asia. They disappear on me. I said, you know what you're going to do? You're going to get your phone. You're going to put in front of you, and you're going to pretend they're right there with you, and you're going to tell them exactly what's going on. You're going to bring their own probable objection, and you're going to answer. So I coached her how to do a video. This is 3.5 years ago, to send a video, because you see, they were avoiding her, a message, a voicemail, a text. The moment she said, this is what's going on, I've done this, I have done that, the list is here, we need to have a price adjustment, and I recommend this, and after my study, let's adjust this price. She sent them the video. They return through email and say, go ahead and do the price adjustment.
Awesome.
And they adjust the price in the household. So video works, you know, people are texting video, right? So I love the way you are help me and them to open the mind a little bit and embrace Reels and Instagram, and most of all, even now TikTok.
Yeah, you know, honestly, that's a good point. And that is, you know, try not to be a follower, because, you know, again, we as humans, just like, it's like we need validation first before we're going to jump in. And that's part of the reason why we created Drunk on Social. So it's like, hey, you know, you're not going to be first, because we probably will be, or somebody else that we're following is going to be, but you're going to be very early. And if you just pay attention, that's it. You got to be a consumer. You got to be a student of the game. And, you know, I mean, every successful person says you got to read more. Why? Because you got to be a student of the game. You got to be feeding the brain all the time. And this is the same concept, just in a different way. And that's the reality. You need to listen to podcasts. You need to be doing these kind of things. And that's what successful people do. There's just validation behind it, right? And so for those of you that want to embrace this, well, there's your avenue. Like, we actually have a podcast too. It's called the Drunk on Social, the Symposium. And it's a separate podcast. Tristan and I usually just riff, or we interview people that are doing social at a very, very high level that even we can learn from. And so it's awesome. We're having a lot of fun with this. And like I said, the whole design is, I just want to lift up anybody who wants to embrace it and think outside the box. Like, we want to help them. We want to give you ideas, and we want to give you, and I'll tell you this, social media is a copycat world. So do not be afraid to follow people that are doing it at a high level and emulate them. Make it your own way. I mean, it's totally okay. That's what TikTok is all about. And that's what Reels is. Yes.
R&D, rip off and duplicate, right? The best way to learn.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't copy somebody who's in your market, because you might have some of the same audience, but, you know, so follow people in other markets, because I promise you, your audience is not seeing what that person did. Like Ryan Serhant, for example, like a very big name that y'all know. It's okay. If you're not in his market, it's okay to copy him. I mean, people call me, which is a compliment, by the way, but they'll say, Jeff, you're like the Gary Vee of real estate. And I'm like, that's a massive compliment. But what does it tell you? That I kind of modeled my style a little bit around that person. And so it's okay. Like, that's an okay thing to do. And you don't have to be the innovator. And oh, by the way, there are services out there that actually, and we're a part of one of them, that helps you create content. So if you struggle, well, then maybe just pay for a service that creates the content that you can push out to your audiences, or gives you the scripts so then you can create the videos, as long as you're willing to do it. That's the key. You got to be willing to do it.
Take the step and act on it. Yeah. So I hope you guys are taking notes. I hope you guys watch this again. And I'm going to, of course, give you all his contacts. I'm going to let him share here how you can reach out to Jeff, because he's awesome. And but before I do that, just remember, do the thing and have the freedom. Don't overthink. Don't make this big. Just follow people like him and I, know what we're doing, and just emulate. Yeah. And, you know, you're going to even do better. Be authentic, be you, and go out there and do it. So Jeff, darling, before we share how we can reach to you, and of course, everybody can Google you, go on Instagram and find you, but what would be one great advice? I know you have so much gold strategy, so many ideas, great things to share, but what would be one thing that you can say to these beautiful real estate agents all over the world to do or to get from this?
Yeah, I would say, try to define your pillars of content. That's what we call it. And so again, think about like who you are. And so, of course, two of your pillars are going to be your personal life. That's one of them. Another one's going to be your business, right? Those are obvious, but try to find two or three other pillars of content that you can go all in on. What are your hobbies? What are you doing consistently that will be something that you can become known for? I use Lana Rodriguez. She's a good friend and agent in Colorado Springs. She has been creating, she just found this niche recently. She started doing mom content on TikTok and she's been blowing up.
Nice.
And all she's doing, she's got two young kids. She's got a daughter who's like 6 or 7. So they're going through that phase, right? Mom and daughter. And she's just sharing it and she's being super authentic. And a lot of people can relate, and it's getting her a ton of engagement, and it's creating a lot of conversations and connections. And that's the name of the game. And so remember, like the name of the game of social is not going viral. The virality is vanity. It might boost your ego, but it's not probably going to sell you any homes. So focus on making connections. None of us are going to be The Rock. None of us are going to be Gary Vee, right? So we're not going to be viral. But what we can do is we can go all in on the things that we're doing. So whatever it is your hobbies are, and it can be, think about it. Like I've had people tell me, dude, I'm going through a phase in my life and I've just been binge watching Netflix. I'm like, awesome. That's content. Think about it. Like you could be doing reviews on shows. You could be talking about what you're going to watch next. You could be asking suggestions on what other people are watching, and think about it. There are hundreds, maybe thousands of people that are going to want to engage with you and tell you what they're doing because now they can relate to you. So yes, we're enamored by the Kardashians. But the reality is we engage with the people that are more like us, and we connect with the people that are more like us. And so if you just share your life, like I said, if you're into growing tomatoes, if you're into playing golf, if you're into what is your hobby, gardening, running, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, if you do a lot of it, if you do it consistently, invariably you are an expert because you do it more often and probably better than 98% of the world. And so look at yourself as that, share what you're doing. It makes creating content easier, and you're going to end up making probably hundreds of new connections with people that are going to turn into raving fans, and probably people that are referring you business, if not their own business.
Oh, I love it, man. I love, dude. That's awesome. So much great information. And I got this for myself. I'm going to use it. I'm going to remember, because you see, I tell you guys at the time, real estate is a conversation. Real estate business is building connection. And that's his main point here. Do everything here on social media to create connection so you can relate to people and get business, get referrals, get everything. Oh, I love it. Jeff, what a pleasure. So why don't you share here with our beautiful tribe? How can we follow you, reach out to you, and be your friend?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so I mentioned I'm a regular creator on 5 platforms. So of course, Facebook, and it's my name on all 5 platforms. That's a bonus tip. Try to be consistent across all platforms. Don't call yourself, the greatest realtor in San Diego, because people don't know you. They can't find you. So try to use your name in all of the platforms. Try to be as consistent as possible. So if you go look me up on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, actually Twitter is another one, LinkedIn or YouTube, you're going to find Jeff Pfitzer. It's easy. Now I have a unique last name. It's easier for me, but try to be consistent. I'm easy to find. Shoot me a DM. I'm happy to help. And I'm happy. I'll give you my cell phone, because I usually, when I have conversations with people on social, I say, hey, let's bring this to text, because I check that more often. My cell phone number is 314-220-4945. If you have any questions, you're not bothering me. Yes, I'm very busy. If I'm busy, I'll respond when I have time. Be patient, but I'll respond to everybody, and I'm happy to help. So
I love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Jeff. So you are amazing. And I love you for being here, giving your time, energy, and share great stuff with us. So all of you, beautiful superstars, amazing warriors, I hope you took some great notes, and I want you to share here with us in comments here, what is the one action, or maybe you have 2, 3 that you're going to take from this great conversation, because the money is on implementation. So if you listen to this great conversation, if you're like me, you took notes. Now tell me what you're going to do. What's your number one action? Share here with us. Say hello to Jeff. Follow us, and please subscribe here for our channel, because we are always going to come here and bring you strategies, tactics, joy, energy, and for sure, beautiful conversation. So thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. And everyone, go out there, sell a lot of home, go do your videos, and go be a queen and king on social media. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.